Disgust is my absolute favorite emotion. It is so honest, it's so raw, and it is impossible to fake. So, unless you've studied how emotions can function as an internal guidance system, it's totally easy to dismiss disgust as just another negative feeling. But disgust carries one of the clearest messages that your nervous system can send you. That thing is not for you. And if you keep messing with it, you're gonna have a bad time. So today we're breaking down how disgust works, what it's trying to tell you, and how you can use it as a rock solid inner navigational tool. If this interests you, hit like and subscribe. I teach emotional intelligence as the foundation for accessing your intuition and your higher ordered thinking. When you access these parts of your brain, part of whole mind intelligence, the clarity is incredible and you get really smart. So, back to disgust. We're going to talk about what's happening within your brain. Disgust is managed by insula. It's a part of your brain that functions as an internal sensor. Basically, it's scanning and integrating a bunch of different information from throughout your body, your emotions, and your cognitive processes. So, when you see, smell, or about to ingest something that's rotten, the insula in your brain activates and it sends out this recoil response like, it's visceral, it's primal, it's instinctual, it's blah, spit it out. But disgust doesn't stop at physical contamination of things. It also operates within a moral framework too. So when you encounter disgusting things like cruelty or hypocrisy, betrayal, corruption, things like that, the disgusted feeling creates this body level instinct. It's attempting to guide you away from that situation or behavior, saying, like, that doesn't belong in your world. And so, taking this a step further, disgust has a directional purpose for your life, too. It can help you interpret your best path forward when you have a bunch of different choices in front of you. Look at each of your options, and one of them you're going to be like, "Ugh, that's not for me." The disgust emotion is also trying to tell you that that pathway is not going to work out for you or it's not right for you right now. Here's where nuance matters a lot. Emotions, when they're understood, they're guides. But emotions like disgust don't function well as a judge. And here's what I mean. Basically, I think people would get this like implicit permission to scan their entire life to be like, who generates a feeling of disgust within me? And then use that emotion as condemnation or justification for saying some really mean stuff to that person. Tread softly. It's trying to tell you that that person, that situation, or that environment just feels off right now, or it might be incompatible with you right now. So it might not be wise to write off that person completely. You might be friends again later. That disgust is telling you there's just something out of alignment right now. All emotions are neutral in their onset. It's your perception, it's your inner narrative that creates the story behind what you feel. What you tell yourself after an emotion, it's based on your past experiences, your beliefs, and your conditioning. Remember that emotions create excellent cues to pay attention to things, but they're not always reliable narrators. So be really careful with these long, drawn out, panicked, justifying narratives that you make up in your head when you're in a heightened state or when you're in a disgusted state. Observing what you're feeling is key to creating some really responsible narratives about you, your life, and other people. Okay, so let's make this practical. Imagine you're deciding how you're going to spend your afternoon. You could keep working or you could head to the gym and you're awesome, you love your body, and you choose the gym. But as you picture your usual workout, like you're on the elliptical for an hour, followed by some HIIT training, you're picturing all of this in your mind, and all of a sudden you realize, like, ugh, I'm feeling that disgust. Ugh, what is this? It's subtle. It's not like full-on nausea that one would expect with disgust. It's more like a ugh feeling. Your stomach might turn slightly, or your energy dips, or you check in with yourself and you're like, am I just being like lazy? Am I being avoidant about the gym? You check in and you're like, no, I like the gym and I like working out, but right now there's something about that workout that just seems absolutely. So here's where most people are going to bulldoze right over that emotion and they're going to tell themselves, like, don't be a wuss, get your butt in the gym. If you don't, you're going to get fat and then you won't have anything to wear to that event next week. And just hear it, it's that narrative. It's pretty intense. That internal tirade that you're experiencing, that is not your intuition. Okay, let me be really clear with that. That's what we like to call your critical inner voice. Listen to it. How critical is it of you? It's saying some really mean stuff to you, and if it sounds urgent or panicked, or it's trying to tell you that everything's going to fall apart, you might want to not listen to it. Instead, pause. Drop the self-judgment inside, be careful with the narrative that's being created, and observe what your body and the feeling of disgust are trying to communicate to you. And bonus points if you can do this from a neutral mindset. When you're neutral, it's like you care, but you don't care. You care and you're not clinging to the situation. You're curious. And you ask yourself if that activity is generating a feeling of disgust right now, if that activity is not for me right now, what is my inner wisdom trying to say? Maybe you'll hear something like, your body would do better with rest today, or your body would do better with something different. Maybe you haven't been tracking how hard your day was, and a lighter workout or something more restorative would be better for your nervous system right now. Because here's the truth, your body is tracking what you need way more precisely than your conscious mind can track it. And that's what makes having an internal emotional sensory navigation so effective because it's adaptive, it's immediate, it's self-correcting, and it's not like that activity that you just felt disgusted about is off the table forever. It's just off the table for right now. Tomorrow you can check in and you find that you're thrilled to hop on the elliptical and do that HIIT workout. And because you honored your body's signals today, you do that activity tomorrow with like way more strength and way more focus. P.S. If you're finding this information useful, please like this video so I know to make more content like this. What I often see in clients who've practiced this intuitive emotional awareness for a while is that when disgust shows up sort of like randomly and out of nowhere, it's because something else is approaching that's going to demand a greater energetic investment from that person. So something shows up and they're like, oh, I just don't want to do that today. They listen to what their body is telling them. And then later on, they have this experience of like, wow, I'm so glad I listened to myself because now I have more energy and more attention and more focus for this thing that I had no idea that was coming that ended up showing up. So that brings me to a really important foundation here. Pushing through and forcing yourself to do something at the wrong time depletes your energetic resources, the very resources that you'll need for what's ahead. So, am I telling you that your body is sort of psychic? Like it sort of knows what you need before you know it and is sort of tracking on things and keeping you squared away before you might realize it yourself? I think so. Because the subconscious mind processes information 500,000 times faster than the conscious mind can. That is a staggering concept. But at its core, it means that your conscious mind doesn't have a full view of your entire world all the time. So if you're looking to become more aware of your emotions, more aware of your intuitions, and you're willing to start recognizing the signals that your body and your emotions are starting to send, this is the foundation that you're going to build your intuition on. If you master feelings and emotions like disgust and you actually listen to what they're trying to say to you, you're going to get a greater command over your internal intuitive landscape. This information is wildly useful right now because I think we're about to enter this age where we're going to start to have to defend what human intelligence is. And I think people are starting to think that AI is just like going to be way more smarter than us as humans. I fully disagree. AI cannot be intuitive. You can. So, given the level of tension that we're living through as a society, here's a question that always comes up when it comes to disgust. What does it mean when I feel disgusted when I think about this other person? Let's say that a colleague invites you to hang out after work, and suddenly you feel that icky, gross sensation. You like recoil and you're, oh, I'm uncomfortable, and your energy drops. It doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong with them. It signals internally that for whatever reason, your system just isn't feeling up to that invitation. So your task here is not to judge the person or the invitation. It's really easy to try and do that. Like, oh, well, I'm feeling disgusted by them. It must be them. Be careful with the nuance here. Basically, your body is only trying to tell you what's right for you right now. And it's trying to tell you that that invitation is not going to work out. Disgust may be trying to tell you that spending time in that environment might not be right for you at this time. So try not to beat anybody up. Try not to beat yourself up or overanalyze why your body's responding with disgust. Just decline the invite or reframe it in whatever way that you need. But again, that disgust is just a signal of like, huh, something's not going to work for me here. Another activity might be more aligned with your evening. So when you meet these emotions as they show up and you sort of pause and you ask the emotion itself, what's going on with me right now? Your intuition's going to start responding to you about what might be a better fit. Please stop suppressing or ignoring your emotions and try to stop suppressing or ignoring the emotion of disgust. It's one of the most accurate barometers of what you need, where you could go, and what you could do at any given moment. And connecting with these subtle signals inside of you is going to strengthen your intuitive discernment, which is founded and predicated on emotional intelligence or the ability to interpret what your emotions are saying. So anytime you feel a sudden meh or ugh or blah or dip in your energy or your stomach kind of flips, check in. That could be the emotion of disgust telling you, yuck, I don't want to go in that direction. So don't. When you make that decision and you don't override what it's telling you, you're going to make room for what you do want. And then you'll think like, yay, I do want to go in that direction over here. So do. And again, try not to overthink it because your internal wisdom through your emotions and through your intuition just gave you your next best step. There's an enormous amount of intuitive intelligence within you, and discerning your emotions is the first step. If you're just starting your emotional intelligence journey, consider joining the Intuition Mindset community. It's at www.intuitionmindset.me. There's tons of tools and courses and retreats and one-on-one work that we could do together. Check it out. I'd love to hear from you there. Thanks.